And welcome back to another episode of Underdog Podcast. Starting right at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with the live stream. Also, I did it yesterday, so I think it's going to be something I do every day. I know I talked about it. I will be posting the videos of the live stream, posted on my YouTube channel and on my Odysee channel. Oddly enough, Odysee all of a sudden let me sync up my YouTube channel, which is wild to me because I tried to do it when I originally created my Odysee account. And I was like, oh, you gotta have 300 subscribers. I mean, I have 20 subscribers on YouTube. All of a sudden now I can fucking sync up my YouTube channel. And it's like, it'll take a week. A week? Whatever. I mean, cool with me because I didn't think you guys were gonna allow me to do that at all till I get 300 subscribers. But, guess I'm happy with that. Cool, right? A lot of things to talk about today. Some shit that's really kind of really pissed me off, which I didn't think it would. Not to this extent, but the more I kept thinking about it, and I was like, fuck. One thing though, last night I'm walking out my bedroom, and as I walk by, I see my computer screen is just fucking on this desktop. I'm just like, wow. I definitely did a lot of computing. And I'm checking my Apple Watch, and I'm like, well, I have been turned off I believe I turned off the setting to not have my Apple Watch unlock my computer. If not, I looked at my watch and didn't say anything, and I didn't feel no vibration, nothing like that. So I was like, wow. So well, I know what an unlocked computer screen on the desktop home screen is, man. I'm not okay. I got IT degree. I know it's the associates, but know a little something like somebody fucking hacked into my computer. Probably just going around my desktop, seeing my hard drive. Good for them. Everything I have is on Apple's cloud drive, iCloud. So, I mean, a lot of my stuff is public record. I spent 12 years in the Air Force. And you look up my DD 214 probably if you have the right credentials. Look up my public service record. Hell, you look at my voting record. I voted twice. Once for Obama, once for Trump. If the one for Obama even counted, because I don't even fucking know, because I mailed it out late, because in all actuality, I didn't give a shit. I didn't think my vote counted anyways, and come to find out, guess what? Your vote doesn't count. Oh, my fault. Those are conspiracy theories. Minus the Time magazine article I keep mentioning and bringing up. But I was like, damn, what the fuck? And also at the same time, like I'm getting email notifications. Somebody not hacked into my Nintendo Switch account. Well, goddamn, like I hope Chinese Communist Party is doing their job over there in association with the American government. I said this shit yet again. You cannot say shit like this. But guess what? You can say shit like this. And that's a fucking problem. And that's a fucking problem, man. So we're just gonna hop right into it. Yeah, probably should have had that already. I knew I fucking forgot something. So if you looking at this shit, you'll see a fucking blank screen. All right, here we go. So speaking of freedom of speech, which is something kind of touched on yesterday, that as far as the Trump impeachment trial, that's all it's about. It's an attack on freedom of speech. So I said it's not about Trump. It's not about these celebrities, man. They're just trying to knock them down because we all know if they can get got, if you can touch them, the rest of us are completely fucked. Fuck that though. So you got an article here from Page Six, and I seen this news this morning. First and foremost, I fucking love Gina Carano as far as an actress in her movies and stuff like that. Really, the fighter, because I first seen her in Strike Force. I want to say 2009, 2010. And I like the way she fights. I like her aggressiveness. I like her styles. I like Muay Thai fighters, anyways. I like Muay Thai. I remember watching a Ong Bak movie. If you're big into martial arts movies, I remember watching Ong Bak movie when I was a kid, and I was like, yeah, I'm a guy. Do this Muay Thai shit. Part of me, which I can, I guess, if I were more medically able to, especially now, definitely hop on a plane and go somewhere and just be into martial arts and Buddhism and studying just somewhere there in the Southeast, Southwest Asia for whatever fucking reason. Maybe in a past life, that's why there's some draw or some connection to that. But she's been in movies. If you ever seen a movie, I think Ring Girls is kind of like I believe that's kind of based loosely off her story where she's a Muay Thai fighter, so she went over there to uh Thailand and start fighting. But she was doing some fights here in America and stuff. But I think she got into it because of her boyfriend at the time when she was younger. I believe so. But she's an athlete. Her dad was a football player from the Dallas Cowboys. He was a quarterback. So she comes from athletic family and stuff. And as far as I ever known, she's a good person. She doesn't really say too much. She's never been like an asshole. I never heard anything negative about her. She seems nice, man. She's fucking beautiful. I mean, it was show some pictures here later. Shit, fuck, you know what she looks like. If you don't, you look her up. She's fucking beautiful to me. Little dimples, that smile, man. That shit make you fucking like melt your heart. Like, god damn. And I don't think I can meet her in person. She smiled at me like that. I don't know. I might just nut all over myself. What the fuck is wrong with me, man? Fuck it, man. You're thinking it too. You're thinking it too. You're thinking it too, man. Fuck that. I think she's pretty much like my size, my height, my body weight and stuff. So she's not a small woman. She's tall wise, whatever, 5'7", 5'8", 150, 160 pounds. Now that she's not fighting, I think she fought at bantamweight 135. Or really she's like 145. But and her career ended when not Gina Carano, she is Gina Carano, dumbass. When Chris Santos Cyborg beat the shit out of her. Like, damn, I felt so bad because she just got beat down. But I think Cyborg ended up testing positive steroids after that. But I mean, yeah, she still was outmatched, outclassed on that one. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It happens to everybody. Fighters fight at some point. Sometime, you're gonna get beat by someone better. Also, there are a few of them that don't get beat by people better. Like it could be Nagamera or your John Jones, the world, stuff like that. But let's get more into this because just kind of give you a little background story on who she is. So Gina's been in movies and she's been in a lot of straight to DVD, straight to streaming platform service movies. So I've watched a lot of those movies. One of her first movies, I believe, was Haywire. I like that movie. And these movies are on Amazon Prime. I mean, at least for now, they're on Amazon Prime. Who knows? It might get taken down too. It shouldn't though, and she's done a lot of movies. She's been in your Marvel movies, Deadpool, X-Men, and her recent role is Cara Dune on Star Wars show The Mandalorian, which is on Disney Plus. I like The Mandalorian. I watched the first season. I've been hesitant to watch the second season just because I just haven't felt like watching it. I just didn't feel like watching it yet, and I was waiting for that moment where I feel like, okay, I'll sit down and I'll watch this shit. But some tell me, hey, you don't want to watch it, and that gut instinct that I always talk about, that law of attraction, that thing that I want to say law of attraction, but that higher self, that inner consciousness, whatever the fuck you want to call it, God, angels, whatever. Something tells you like, hey, I don't think you want to do this, and now I really don't want to watch the show because I like her in the show. I like her. So I'm even more enticed to watch the show because of her. And she's a popular character, which really she was just a side character, but I think the reaction of her in the show was positive. So people like her. Now all of a sudden, they fucking fired her. So it says Gina Carano fired from The Mandalorian after controversial post. Now remember, we're in Nazi Germany. My fault. We're in America, and controversial means me. I am controversial. Because I say things that aren't supposed to be said out loud anymore, I guess. Like, fuck, shit, I cuss too much. These are controversial things because I question masks. You question there, these are considered controversial now. These controversial takes that people have, such as myself. So it says, yeah, actress Gina Carano has been booted off The Mandalorian after she penned a social media post that compared being a Republican to being Jewish in Nazi Germany. And I'll show you what the post says. No, I don't. She didn't even. Oh my. Okay, I'll have to show you exactly what the post says. Damn, all these fucking videos. So the former MMA fighter who played Cara Dune in the hit Disney show Plus, blah blah. Gina Carano is not currently, and this is reported by Variety originally, Gina Carano is not currently employed by Lucasfilm, and there are no plans for her to be in the future, a Lucasfilm spokesperson said in a statement. Nevertheless, her social media posts denigrating people based on their cultural and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable. It's I mean, but that's literally what they do in today's age. Like that's literally what they do. And it says she faced swift backlash over her since deleted Instagram posts that compare hatred aimed at people with opposing political views to the hate of the vision in Nazi Germany. Notice that she posted that and then she got fired for posting that, thus illustrating exactly what the fuck she was talking about. I mean, it doesn't get any more surreal than that. It's completely insane. Let me post this, and then I get fired for posting this. But really, it wasn't about this. Like I said, it's about a bunch of posts. It's been going on for like the past few months. We were in February. I've been hearing stuff about this. I think late November, early December time frame. You check out the quartering on YouTube. I think Yellow Flash. That Star Wars girl. She's cute. And that Star Wars girl too. But she talks about it as well. Some of these things, because like I said, I'm not a Star Wars fan. I guess I'm the normie, like as far as Star Wars comic books and stuff like that. Like I like watching stuff and I like listening to the lore and reading up on the original source material and history of it. But I don't actually consume it. But I appreciate those people that do consume it because it's still some of the world of spectrum that I kind of get into, but not too much. So like I know that I guess I'm considered a normie, which I didn't fucking realize it was a term until recently. I mean, like I'm old as shit, man. I'm only 33, I'm 34 here in a couple months, but I'm just like, huh, okay, whatever. And it just threw me off. I'm like, but she don't say nothing. It's not like she said I voted for Trump or I hate masks and stuff. I think she did an interview with I think his name is Drunk 3PO. She's so cute in that. But she was talking about it like he was like, she's like, I was freaking out when all this first started happening. Like I was having masks and stuff, and I was telling my parents to wear masks, and she was like, I didn't see my. I think she was saying she didn't see her parents for a while and stuff like that. Like she was freaking out, but then she really started to like kind of question, okay, what was going on? So it's almost like she genuinely is just concerned, like a regular person, because I don't know what her political background is or what she believes in and stuff like that, but the way she was coming off and what she was saying in the interview, and I think Drunk 3PO has what 30 something, 40 something followers, 1,000 followers on YouTube. So I guess you consider it a small channel, right? But she was saying like, I watch you guys, I watch people like this, like, cause you're honest, you are who you are and stuff. And what we seeing here is someone that's not bending the knee, even though I think a recent article came out talking about her gonna apologize to Disney. And I was like, to each their own. There's something else Jeremy from the Quartering reported on, but then here we go. She didn't bend the knee. And this is the most admirable thing. This is the most admirable thing because they've been telling her, hey, you need to chill out, do this, blah, blah. And she just said, fuck you. I'm gonna do it anyways. It's not about the money. You're not gonna tell me what I can and cannot do because fucking Hollywood forgot who she is. And she didn't forget who she is. She's a fighter. Fighters fight. Fighters fight. You're a fighter. It doesn't have to be a physical thing. It's a resistance. It's that rebellious nature. It's that, wait a minute, who the fuck are you to tell me what I can and cannot do? Oh, because you give me a paycheck? Doesn't mean I'm going to succumb to everything you want me to do, especially in my personal life. Get the fuck out of here. That's not something that, you fly with, man. It goes on. Let's read some of these stupid ass quotes. It says Jews were beaten in the streets. Not okay. So this is talking about her post or whatever. It says Jews were beaten in the streets not by Nazi soldiers but by their neighbors, even by children. You mean what's going on here in America? As far as your Karens, as far as your say something, see something, say something, is that not having your neighbors snitch on each other? It's literally the same thing. I'm gonna kind of get into that. How Nazi Germany was just really a social experiment that they used to implement on the rest of the world, America being one of the main places. Then it says, because history is edited, most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews. The government first made their own neighbors, hating them simply by Jews, simply for being Jews. That's what our post said. So how has that anything to do with Republicans? How's that anything saying comparing Republicans to Jews? It has nothing to do with anything. It's just saying people. What she's talking about is people that speak independently, like myself. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I said it many times. I'm not a Trump supporter. Just because I like some things he does, I also disagree with some of the things he does. But what I do know, because you can tell and you can see this throughout his history, is that he really is about America. I'm not the most patriotic person. You seen something talking about Mark Cuban. He didn't want a national anthem played before his games. That didn't bother me. Some people like, they love for the national. They love the national anthem. They stand up for the national anthem. All that shit. And then you hear people say, "Oh, it's about you gotta support the troops and the military." Shit, that is me, and I still don't give a fuck because I'm not into symbolism. Because Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, I don't like that. My first thought is, what? Allegiance to who? I pledge allegiance to myself first and foremost. But at the same time, don't get it twisted. Just because I don't identify or say that I'm patriotic doesn't mean that I don't care about where I live at. I said before on this podcast, you're not about to fuck with where I live at. At the end of the day, if you're here to support individuality, freedoms, lack of big government, shit like that, free market capitalism, basically all the principles that say leave me the fuck alone and we the people can figure this shit out on our own, that's what I'm for. And if that's what America stands for, that's what the Constitution stands for, then by all means, hey, we're on the same team. Because that's what it comes down to. Hey, I don't know what the rest of y'all doing around the world, as far as communism in Venezuela and other places around the world and stuff, China. Hey, whatever y'all into, that's y'all business. Over here, that's not where I'm at. That's not what I'm about, especially in Florida. You see Joe Biden is trying to, the Biden administration, the illegitimate administration is trying to say that they need to put a domestic travel ban on Florida. There's an article I seen earlier today at the Miami Herald. I just want to touch on it. That's why I didn't put it up on the screen. But I saw that shit and I'm just like, wow, they really pissed off at Florida, bro. Like, they got mad. They saw Brady out there partying and shit, throwing the Lombardi trophy around. Like, this shit ain't a thing because he got fucking 7 of them motherfuckers. And you see him coming off the Port of Tampa, walking up, and he's drunk or whatever and stuff. He's having fun, no mask on, living his life. They're mad as shit around the rest of the United States, probably around the world. How dare Florida decide to have all these super spreader events? You goddamn right. How dare we decide to, I don't know, live our fucking life? Living a life, going outside, being around your friends, family members without a mask on, all of a sudden it's damn near a social crime. They're treating it like it's a social crime. How is that not similar to Nazi Germany? How is that not similar to these nationalist, socialist, these communist movements and stuff around the world? If you haven't seen the thing from Pitbull, he said, hey, when they start pulling stuff off the internet and telling you can't say this, say that, he's like, smells like communism to me. It's like, this is exactly what it is, bro. This is exactly what it is. What makes this country great, if you want to say that, is the whole point of freedom of speech. Because with that comes a whole bunch of different perspectives. With that comes a whole bunch of different ideas. And from all those, how do you brainstorm? You can have a corporate think tank, and that's okay. You can train military members to think outside the box, and that's okay. But the second you actually think for yourself in the public spectrum, all of a sudden, everybody's pissed off now. You tell me this post is the biggest deal about it? It says we cancel our Disney subscription. People getting mad. I'm not gonna cancel my Disney Plus subscription. I really thought about this morning though. When I read that shit, the first thought was like, well, fuck, I'm canceling shit because I ain't watching The Mandalorian no more. But I want to watch WandaVision, but I mean, there's ways around that. There's ways around that. Yeah, there's ways around that. I think I pay like $4.99 a month or something because I have Hulu and ESPN anyways, or ESPN Plus. So I think it's all packaged together. But fuck. I mean, I don't really know why. Here's a tweet from Katrina Hayden. I don't know who that is. Man, do they hand these check marks out to everybody? Okay, whatever. It says Gina Carano's post made the point that mass violence starts with hatred for your neighbor. This is not only uncontroversially true, but also one perspective of the commandment to love your neighbor. Obviously, I say I'm not religious in a sense. I have spirituality, but I was telling my daughter, I was like, because she was trying to figure out, Dad, what are we? I was like, one, we ain't anything. It'd be what I am. You figure out what the fuck you are. And she was like, okay, yeah, but what are you? I was like, okay, I get it. I was like, I don't have no labels, but if you want to say something, it's like a mixture. I raised you on a mixture of libertarianism, Buddhism, Christianity, and some other shit thrown in there. Pretty much. I take things I like and I blend it all together because why not? Isn't that what you're supposed to do anyways? So when you're talking about love thy neighbor, that's straight, commandments out of the Bible, Who knows what happened to the other 10 commandments that Moses dropped, but you got these 10 right here, so that's what you have. That idea is not a call to empty niceness. It's how you prevent suffering. Bebop, beep, bop, boop has zero to do with mocking trans people. So this is her comment where it was talking about transphobia. People were saying that she's transphobic and stuff like that because she put up in her because she didn't realize pronouns in the bios was a real thing. I didn't know what that shit was either. I just like, okay, I don't know. This is stupid, but whatever. Nobody gives a fuck. But at the same time, she decided to put beep, bop, boop in her bio, I guess, mocking pronouns. But she said, beep, bop, boop has zero to do with mocking trans people. I love them, and 1% to do with exposing the bullying mentality of the mob that has taken over the voices of many genuine causes, which is all factual, which we all sat and watched. That's it. I make fun of everybody, but I don't understand how you can be a transgender because, like I said in other podcasts, it seems like they want you, as far in the world is, they want you to be, as far as, let's go along America, other parts around the world too. You can be anything you want except for yourself because they said love yourself. But at the same time, they're saying, well, if you don't love yourself, if you feel like you're a little boy or you're a little boy, you feel like, oh, I don't really like myself. I feel like I'm a girl. Then they tell you, oh, you could be a girl then. And see, that always kind of irks me the wrong way because I know what I am. I know the physical characteristics, appearance I give off. But at the same time, like, I don't give a fuck. Like, this is just who I am. Like, whatever. It doesn't bother me because what I actually am is more than just the physical features. So what I am cannot be defined, cannot be determined, cannot be labeled, cannot be quantified, cannot be explained. Because I am what I am and I will become what I've become. And that's the whole point of journey. That's the whole point of life. That's the whole point of this human experience. To know who you are and then from there figure out what the fuck you can become. That's the whole point of consciousness and existing and not existing at the same time. So when people talk about transgender, I want to be this, my first thought is, well, how come you don't like who you are at first? And something I explained to my daughter, people was kind of talking about one day, and then even my son, like, she's like, what if, she's talking about her brother, like, what if he wants to wear a dress? I was like, what the fuck you talking about, man? Yes, this is how I talk to my kids. That's controversial. How I talk to my kids is controversial. You imagine when all this shit, when I blow up and this channel blows up and the podcast blows up, stuff like that? You know how many people are going to be ready to cancel me and tell me the fucked up shit I say? Well, goddamn right. I say fucked up shit all the time. Why? Because it's not fucked up. It's just honest. I'm candid. I show you exactly who I am, which is something that is not seen in the world. Understand that we live in a time where you could be anything other than yourself, because if you try to be yourself, it pisses people off. Yet, the biggest minority that will ever exist in the human species is the individual. The one thing they don't give a fuck about. So when they talk about race or sex or try to classify you to this minority group, this other minority group, this group, no, there is no group. It's you, the individual. That's it. That's it. You, the individual, and then you, part of the human species. We all have the same genetics, same bloodline, same DNA. You talking about the 0.0000000 whatever percent difference between us? Hell, people can't even fucking count those many zeros. after about 1 millionth, 1,000th of a 10, 1 millionth of a 10, or whatever. No, 1 millionth of a 10, 1 millionth of a number. You fucking don't even know. You don't even know. But even her posting this stuff is like, it's like a whatever. She posted shit like this all the time. It's always a love shit and no hate. All love, no hate. That's all she posts, things like that. Look at that. Look at that beautiful face, man. Get the fuck out of here. It pissed me off. But let's check out some of her posts. So I have her Twitter pulled up. I was already scrolling down. And now she has nothing in her bio. And she's not even that big. That's crazy. She's not even like that famous. She's not even famous. She's probably like a B-level celebrity, I guess, a star. I don't even know. Like, I don't even understand how this shit works. And imagine she was even bigger, and she's still trending. No, it's not over here on the side, but she is trending, but she's just further down. So this is how we. Oh, so this is all a bunch of fan stuff. So this is from Drunk 3PO, who did an interview with her and stuff. This is a post she made. Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. Yeah, because, he didn't kill himself. We're not fucking stupid. Even though they want us to think we're stupid, we're not fucking stupid. He didn't kill himself. Like, I don't know why that wouldn't be the case. I don't know how you commit suicide in a single cell by yourself with no means to commit suicide. But hey, whatever. Retweeted something Russ said. I think I know he's a former NFL player. I think he talks about Bitcoin and some other stuff. But teach your children to fact check the fact checkers, which is something, basically. I told my son last night, I was like, don't trust me. He was doing exercises. I took him to the park to run some exercise and stuff like that, my kids. And he was doing something, and I was like, hey, guy, I want to do up downs. I think I said do 5 perfect up downs, and I just stood there because I wanted to see if he would focus on himself to count. Because I always tell him, don't trust me, don't rely on me. Yes, I'm here to help you and I'm here to guide you, but don't fucking trust me. Because the sake you trust me, you don't be surprised when I disappoint you. In the sense of, I'm not talking about anything major. Shit like, hey, don't expect me to wake you up every day because if I fuck up and oversleep, then we're all screwed. Because it's essentially what happens. So, find a way to set your own alarm and stuff like that. Of course, they don't do it, but whatever. They're still young. They're still learning. That's what I'm here for. But he was doing his up downs, and I said, do 5 good ones. And he did it, but he went over. He kept going. And then he stopped. He's like, am I done? I was like, I don't know. You tell me. I was like, were you counting? He's like, no. I was like, how come you weren't counting? He's like, oh, I thought you were doing it. Exactly. You trusted me to count. And I told you, don't trust me. Trust yourself. I was like, did it feel like you did 5? He's like, yeah. Well, there you go. Because you did 6, guy. You did 1 extra for no reason. I told you just do 5. He's like, yeah, I stopped because I felt like I did 5 and you didn't say nothing. And it's like, yeah, because you relied on me. And he's like, I know you were going to say that. Exactly. Don't rely on me. Rely on yourself. Trust yourself, guy. But look, she does shit like movie night. Watching the 300. Another movie, The Truman Show. So shit like this, it like, if you know, you know. When she posts shit like The Truman Show, we know. The Truman Show, hey, the world's a stage, and they're fucking TV and shit, and they're fucking with people's lives, and they're manipulating and control people from birth. Influence. Obviously, this is well, Facebook, YouTube, Internet Explorer. Can't figure out the rest. And the first one is liking, or LinkedIn, excuse me. This shit, looking glass, mirror on the wall, like look at yourself. This is so around the time I think I was watching Aquarian on his YouTube channel where he was talking about a rumored article and stuff, whether or not Gina Carano actually apologized. I think she posted this, and this is what it is. This is what they want. They want us to shut the fuck up for money. Money is one of the ultimate tools of control. It's supposed to be a resource, right? But it's one of the ultimate tools of control because you dehumanize. I don't say dehumanize, but if you lower people's standards and have them do anything for money that they normally wouldn't do, you get them to Uh, you get them to question their own character, and you get them to question their own morality, their own morals and values because of money. And at that point, you got them. You got them. And when I say statements like, if I can't do this channel for one person, now how can I do it for 1 million? It's just a way for I say out loud to myself to just kind of remind myself to stay humble. To stay humble. Regardless of what exposure you get, stay humble. Remember what you did it for. Remember what you're doing it for. Uh, Another fight night thing or movie and stuff, whatever. Come on, man, get the fuck out. Look how gorgeous she is. Look at that. The bone structure and those dimples. It makes my heart melt. Man, I need a woman in my life. Clearly, I got some issues. Thomas Weil. Oh, you can't do that. You can't do that. I didn't realize most shit I talk about as far as race, Thomas Sowell or Sowell talks about the same thing, and I never even heard of him until recently. But what I know is that I'm not saying anything new. Anything you hear me say is nothing new, because there's no way. There's no way. People have said it before me. It has to be. A quote from Thomas Sowell. It's amazing how much panic one honest man can spread among a multitude of hypocrites. Oh, controversial post here. Ooh, chill out. I don't know what happened to this tweet. Somebody had deleted it. Another post, but somewhere along the line you changed. You stop being you. You let people stick a finger in your face and tell you you're no good. And when things got hard, you started looking for something to blame, like a big shadow. Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you can get it and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, then you go out and give what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that. That ain't you. You're better than that. This is from Rocky 5, but yeah. Somebody said, is this a Hitler quote? Get the fuck out of here, man. I fucked up. I like reading the comments sometimes, but sometimes you read the comments and you don't want to. Like, I just glanced over to the right side of the screen and seen that shit. This a Hitler quote? You try to be fucking funny? One, funny, that's not funny because obviously it's from Rocky 5. And it's an inspiring quote. It has, like I said, it has nothing to do with anything. It's shit I teach my kids. It's shit I learned from my own parents. Don't complain about what you can't do. Do the things that you can do and try harder. Hope is stronger than fear. Like, so this is what we're talking about here, right? This is what we're talking about. These posts, all the things she's posting and stuff. This is such a big deal. Let me scroll up. Let's see what her likes are. Because I know this apparently was an issue too as well. Some of the things that she was liking, or whatever you want to call it. Her old former, 14 years ago today. That sounds bad. That sounds bad. I'm out of high school. I'm a couple of years removed out of high school. I guess she's only a few years older than me, anyways. One of her fights and stuff should have been. Look at this. I clicked on it and open it up. Open it up. There you go. So MMA history, February 10th, 2007, 14 years ago today. Gina Carano, Julie Ketzi competed in the first women's MMA fight in history to air on live television. Now, this is shit that your social justice warriors and the leftists and far left people, wherever they want to call themselves, they ain't really far left or anything, but these are the people that they should eat this shit up. She's the first woman to fight in MMA on live television in the history. I don't think that stops in America. I think that's the whole world. She's a trendsetter, right? A global trendsetter as far as women's fighting. You talking about Ronda Rousey and stuff like that? No, she was one of the first ones. Ronda Rousey was talking about, it was Gina Carano. Seeing her fight, Also seeing her, she was never like I don't want to say manly or anything. She's always feminine. She's always been feminine. So it shows girls that, or not girls that, well, yeah, girls in a sense, but you can see that you can still be feminine and go out there and beat the fuck out of somebody. Like, she can come out here and beat my fucking ass and then put on a dress and we can go out to dinner later on. Like, because they want you to think that women can be like men. No, women can be strong and still be feminine at the same time. But they don't want feminine women. They want women in a different aspect. Because it's about blurring the lines, it's about fucking everybody's head up. So this is shit that she likes. She replies to other people, likes other people that comment on her shows and stuff like that, or her posts or whatever the case may be. This shit is insane, man. But one thing I wanted to point out is the comparison between Nazi Germany, America. So what you have here is a Wikipedia page. Why would it do the mobile version when I put it on the desktop? Get the fuck out of here. Can I change it? No. I know there's a way to change it, but it's just going to turn into reader view. It's funny, the same button doesn't do the same thing. That's cool. Whatever. So it says the Aryan certificate, so birth certificate. In Nazi Germany, the Aryan certificate was a document which certified that a person was a member of the presumed Aryan race. Beginning in April 1933, it was required from all employees and officials in the public sector, including education, according to the law of restoration of the professional civil service. It was also a primary requirement to become a Reich citizen for those who were German or related blood Aryan and wanted to become Reich citizens after the Nuremberg laws were passed in 1935. So, 1933, Aryan certificate. Then you go over here on the History Channel, and it was fucked up things. I was trying to find this an hour before the show. It was really hard to find this shit. And this is shit that I used to find on YouTube all the time. Just the comparisons between Nazi Germany and America. As far as Nazi Germany being socialist, all of a sudden they're trying to rewrite history, try to say, oh, they weren't really socialist. No, they just happen to call themselves a National Socialist Party for no fucking reason. They really think we're that stupid. Hitler was all for government. The Aryan race, government, atheism, follow the government, follow the state, follow the nationalism. That's what he was about. And they want to sit here and try to tell you something fucking completely different, like, public education system, indoctrination camps where my kids are in public school. Well, they're in charter choice public school, so their education is a little bit different. Yeah, really, they're more of a tech school, so they learn a lot of computer coding and stuff like that, and website building and other little things. I made sure of that for a reason. The best school I went to was when I was at a charter school, magnet school, stuff like that. When I went to public school in high school, I was like, y'all fucking, why am I learning the same shit I already learned? But whatever. So it says the history of birth certificates is shorter than what you might think. This article is from August 8, 2017. It was updated too in 2018. There's a particular paragraph I wanted to see though. I actually remember where it was at. And I skipped past it. It says, as the social welfare state expanded, so did the need for birth certificates. In 1946, the National Office of Vital Statistics took over birth certificates nationally. These days, they prove eligibility for things like Social Security, Medicaid, and public programs like WIC, offering food and nutrition to women, blah, blah. That might take a progressive era reformer proud. You know that shit is from Nazi Germany, right? Social Security, stuff like that. And I was trying to find a good video to show you guys, but it's fucking YouTube pisses me off, man, because Shit like this was on YouTube. This is why I learned a lot of stuff from. A lot of these independent documentaries. That's what YouTube was about. Same as Netflix when it first came out. It had a whole bunch of documentaries. The funny thing is, all those documentaries, all of that, they're on fucking Gaia Network, which apparently Amazon Prime owns, which I didn't even know till the other day. I was like, well, shit. Can't escape none of these motherfucking people. But this is what they start out with because that was the only legal movie rights and stuff cheap that they can get. They can fill up their platform and stuff. I'm trying to was some other date I had seen. Magazines and newspapers began to try to educate people on the need for birth certificates. What does that sound like? Magazines and newspapers. Told you. You think Operation Mockingbird just started in the 60s and they stopped that bitch? No, they've been doing this shit forever. Nazi Germany was a social experiment. They loved what Hitler was doing. There's a reason why Prescott Bush, George Bush Jr.'s grandfather, George Bush Sr.'s father, funded the Nazi Nationalist Party. That's why he was funded by international bankers. Now, he probably got a little too out of control. Literally, they couldn't control no more, and that's probably when they want to go in. Like, fuck, we gotta stop this dude. But they created a fucking monster. And they didn't stop him anyway. They fucking let him escape. He lived down in somewhere in South America. It's not Brazil. Is it Peru? I believe it's Peru. And that's FBI documented. Hell, watch the show on Amazon, Nazi Hunters. Literally, the show on Amazon, Nazi Hunters, is about fucking Nazis infiltrating America. And they also had The Man in the High Castle, which is about a parallel universes and stuff. And what would happen if Nazis took over the world and won the war? You think they're just pulling this shit out of their ass, man? They're fucking telling you what's going on. There's another Amazon show that came on recently, and I'm gonna sit down and watch, but it's called Utopia, and I think it's a remake of some. I think it was a British show, Utopia, the same name, but the Amazon version is like they're inside the show. There's a comic book that talks about conspiracies, and they start to realize that, oh shit, they're living in a conspiracy. And then it's almost like, wow, you get to see yourself within yourself, because as in that show, it reads a comic book about a conspiracy, and within the show, they realize that the comic book about conspiracies was true. Us as the people in the real world watching it, like, well, shit, that shit is true. So it's something that I think I'm thinking about doing. I don't know if I'm gonna create a separate channel or just add a playlist to my current YouTube channel and do like a predictive programming kind of segments and stuff, or do a predictive programming series where I'm basically saying not saying, but talking about all the shows, all the movies, so how they have all these predictive programming messages in them. Fuck, I was watching Eon Flux last night. Didn't even realize it. The fucking movie's about a virus killing off all of humanity, and you have one last leading city and stuff like that. I'm like, well, shit. And the funny thing is, the city is designed in the same way Jacques Fresco designed his city, circular, which is something I believe that Atlanteans designed their cities in that way. I understand, even our city structures are off intentionally. The structure in which the city that you live in design is all over the fucking place. It's crazy though, man. But I'm thinking about doing a series based, kind of a series side off, spin off, whatever on my YouTube channel, and just adding like its own playlist and stuff. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting or whatever to see that. And there's a lot of stuff that's hidden in movies that, once again, playing in right there and playing in sight. But it goes on to saying that a birth certificate is a good thing to have, explain a 1942 article in Good Housekeeping. Please do not apply for a birth certificate today unless you absolutely must have one. So that's the thing, man. This is the paragraph I want to read. I see it now. I thought I had a date in it. I know I had a mental marker and I forgot what the fucking marker was. And I just highlighted it and then didn't do anything. All right, I clicked off of it. So it says, it took a world war to finally give birth certificates the push they needed to become universal. During World War II, when everybody was trying to fight Nazi Germany, World War II. During World War II, defense-related plants began to hire in unprecedented numbers, but by law, they can only hire American citizens. So we're talking about a workforce, right? This created a crisis for the estimated 43 million native born Americans, nearly one third of the country, who couldn't prove when and where they were born. At the same time, the article estimated 200,000 people were born every year without getting a birth certificate. So they're worried about the workforce, correct? Nazi Germany, marriage certificate. Beginning in April 1933, it was required for all employees. So it starts with the workforce because it's about money. If we can cut you off from making a living, from feeding yourself, being able to survive, we can force you into thinking or bending the knee to a certain manner because you need money and stuff, then we got you. They got us by the balls. That's the most fucked up thing. Meanwhile, the most easiest way to make money is to invest in the stock market because that shit's all fucking made up shit anyways. But like I said before, Wall Street bets. When they did this shit, Wall Street got mad. Like, hey, how dare you, little retail investor, the regular person, how dare you manipulate the stock market? That's what we fucking do. Don't do that shit. That's what we do, guy. How has this made a simple comparison between Nazi Germany and America? And that's just on birth certificates. We're not talking about Social Security cards. We're not talking about Pledge of Allegiance. You think we've been doing the Pledge of Allegiance for that long? You think drugs have actually been illegal in America for that long? And this is shit I learned from listening to Ron Paul talk. And this is on documentaries that I kind of have to figure out exactly where those documentaries are at, man. I think if I go to my YouTube channel and scroll all the way down to my like page section, I might be able to find the original stuff that I like. Because I just always press like on things that you like it, but at the same time, that's my saved list as well. It's crazy, man, because it's just so many comparisons. I believe Social Security cards too, or I think rather Social Security cards, numbers, and stuff like that came from Nazi Germany. Hell, driver's license. You don't need a driver's license. I mentioned that before. Social Security card doesn't do anything. Birth certificates doesn't do anything. Marriage license doesn't do anything. Marriage license. Does it even make sense? It's an oxymoron. What the fuck do you need a license to be married? Your marriage is based on your religion or your spiritual beliefs. It's a communion between you and another person. The fuck does the government have anything to do with that? Why does it cost like 75? Well, I don't know what the price is now, but when I got married, it was 2006, right? Shit, I don't even remember. 2006, that sounds like a good year. Yeah, it was 2006. I got married, it was like $75. I remember thinking like, wait, what? I mean, I get the money, I guess, but it was the shit that comes into your brain. We all think it, but then we just kind of let it go. But I can't let shit like that go because my first thought is, wait a minute, we have to pay money to get married? What? What is going on here? I'm thinking, well, I gotta pay a little fee or something because you guys are doing the whole thing, and then you just have. Hell, I think I got a certificate to be an ordained minister. It was like a 10-minute thing I found on the internet. Be an ordained minister. Okay, I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna marry people. Because in the military, in the Air Force, all the young kids get married all the time and shit right when they fucking get to base. So I was like, well, shit, I might as well make some money off these fucking people. I was like, I'm gonna marry y'all. But shit, I don't even know what I did with it. I just thought it was funny that you can go online and become an ordained minister. This, bro. Let's look this shit up real quick. I just want to show y'all how dumb a lot of these fucking laws and licenses are. Uh, so yeah, ordained. I just typed in ordained minister online. Become an ordained minister online. Universal Life Church. 5 best places to get ordained online in 2020 legally. Actually, I think that's where I got this shit from. Actually, I think I did get this from this website. And this shit is established in 1977. So look, the Universal Life Church is a non-denominational spiritual organization that opens its doors to anyone seeking to get ordained. You can't make shit up. What? We ordained Stephen Colbert, Lady Gaga, Richard Bronson. Whoa, what the fuck did I stumble upon? Is that The Rock? What the fuck did I stumble upon? Like I always say, listen to yourself, man. There's something guiding us. Your higher self consciousness, God, wherever you want to call it, fucking angels. I don't know, but some Paul. Okay. We're gonna do a little quick deep dive and yeah, let's see what we get into. So it says the Universal Life Church, the ULC, is proud to welcome people of all cultures, creeds, and belief systems. Since its inception, over 20 million ministers have become ordained online worldwide through ULC or ordinations. The Universal Life Church provides a broad level of support to whether you will be officiating at a wedding or planning to start your own church. I'm not gonna lie, something I thought about doing, starting my own church, but it was just, be honest, it was gonna be legal purposes, tax fraud, or not tax fraud, get out of paying taxes, shit like that. I just want to see if I can do it too, because I think it's funny. As ordained minister of the ULC, you will possess the full legal status required to officiate marriages. In addition, you will be qualified to perform baptisms, preside over funerals, and conduct any other religious ceremony of your choosing. It's fun because why do you need a certificate or anything like that? Perform weddings legally, ordination is free and easy, no experience needed, all are welcome. 3 steps. Click here to begin. Complete the online ordination request. Check your email for ordination confirmation from the monastery. I know I did it. I don't know. That's funny, man. Have your friends been wondering how to be a minister or to become a marriage officiant? Well, now you have an answer for them. You know how to become a licensed minister, and the process starts here. Whether your goal is to be a full-fledged ordained pastor, a marriage officiant, or simply to conduct spiritual ceremonies. Remember, there's no law for this stuff because spirituality, religion, the laws of your supreme being or whatever deity you want to worship. So no man can preside over you. No human being can preside over you. No law can preside over you. So this is all made up. It's all made up. This is insane, right? Because if they actually we ordained, did they actually do that shit? You got over here in the corner, but it's like, you telling me The Rock is allowed to marry people? Lady Gaga, do you want Lady Gaga fucking marrying you? I don't give you a fucking baptism, presiding over your fucking funeral, and conduct over any. Wait a minute. Lady Gaga was at the inauguration, correct? And apparently she's ordained according to this website, correct? So was that indoctrination? Was that inauguration a legal thing? Which, check out the other episodes I already talked about. It's not, because he didn't get inaugurated at 12. He got inaugurated at like 11:48. So you can't do that while another president is still residing as president. So that's illegal. Minus all the other shit elections and stuff like that. But she was there. So at that point, did she do some type of religious ceremony? Did we witness a religious ceremony because she's ordained? I guess she didn't commence it, but then again, she sung the song. I don't, is this a reach? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not even gonna say it's a reach because it's one of those odd. It's not a coincidence. Like, how can she be ordained and then next thing else she's singing? I think she sung the national anthem. I don't remember. You know what? We're gonna leave that alone because fuck my life. Fuck my life. So I'm just checking out these marriage laws and stuff. So how to get married in Florida is talking about ULC ordination accepted. Yes. So I can get on here, become an ordained minister, and marry the fuck out of y'all. But hey, you want to get married? $100. Minister registration required? No. Minister's residency, irrelevant. Minister's minimum age, 18. So I don't know if this says a law because you still have to go to court anyway to sign a document. I say you still have to go to court anyway to sign the documents. I have a fucking certificate. I don't know what I did with it. I don't know what I did with it because I thought it was stupid. I'm like, man, I took a couple things, did answer a couple questions, and all of a sudden I'm a ordained minister. Like, marriage license waiting period 3 days. Marriage license is valid for 60 days. Marriage license return, whatever. That just fucks my head up a little bit, man. Kind of a wild thing. Oh, there's nothing for DC, huh? DC, no, nothing for DC because DC doesn't count as a state. Cool, got you. But no, I just kind of want to throw those things out there because I thought it was interesting that you can just do shit like that. And it further kind of goes into what I was talking about as far as these licenses, these they're pointless. They're pointless. No law can tell you anything. You want to drive a car? Fucking drive a car. Hell, but all of a sudden they're gonna tell us, oh, you need a law to walk. You want to walk? No, you need a law. You need a license to walk. Don't you need a license to fish in some places? You know, because you can't hurt the wildlife, because you'll kill off everything. No, we can have an agreement upon a certain area, space, and stuff amongst the people that live there. Yeah, we can all come together for an agreement. But to say that I need a license is kind of pushing it, right? So here's an article here to transition to the next topic from Business Insider. Excuse me. Man, every fucking episode I got to burp. I sit here and fucking gulp down my fucking protein shake before I get on and record this. Hey, guy, relax, guy. So this is from the CDC. It's on Business Insider. It says CDC double mask and tightly fitted single mask can reduce COVID-19 transmission by up to 96.4%. Understand that you still have a 99.99 something or 98% chance of surviving it. Until they come up with a vaccine or a mask that gives me that 99.9, everything else is fucking pointless. Everything else is fucking pointless. Double masking has become a trend, but until it's a trend. Have you seen anybody with two masks on? Ask yourself that. Have you seen anybody with two masks on? It's such a trend that everywhere you go, you see people with two masks on. I don't think I've seen anybody with two masks on. It says, but until today, there hasn't been much evidence it works. That's all you need to know. The whole article is pointless. The whole article is pointless. The CDC study is pointless because you're telling me in the history of viruses, going back to the late 1800s, where they were discussing the terrain theory and germ theory, which scientists have still not yet agreed upon. You're telling me, right? Let me get this shit straight. I just realized I got the wrong article. I mean, it's this article and something else too, but okay, no problem. But yeah, you telling me that all that entire time that they didn't do no studies on masks? And all these epidemics we have, I don't know, every fucking year, not once did they say, hey, let's do a study on double masking. Let's do a study on masks. Let's do a study on double masking. Now, there are some studies, but all the studies say the same thing. They don't fucking work. Or they do, but to an extent. Bloodborne pathogens, aerosol sprays. And we kind of break down some of the study here in a bit. New CDC study suggests that popping a well-fitted cloth mask over a surgical one can improve mask performance by roughly 50%. They're making up numbers. So my thing is, if some of those masks already come with filters, is that not the same thing as double masking? Once again, can you not just sneeze into your shirt? Is your shirt not cloth, right? Cotton, ain't it? So at what point does mask actually matter? There are plenty of other low-tech strategies that can improve the performance of your mask too. Double masking, combining the snug fit of a cloth mask with the filtering capability of a surgical style one underneath. Like I just said, filter. Some of these masks come with slots for filters. And the funny thing is too, you can't have it. Okay, so in the military, Air Force in particular, I'm gonna go with obviously because that's what I was in. You, when you go do a mask fit test, this is exactly what it's called. It's called a mask fit test. So you know your gas mask that you see and shit on TV. Okay, that's it. I forget the actual technical name of it, but you go in, you get a mask fit test. You figure out what size mask you have on. Obviously, most people in the military shave. I bet people didn't realize you don't have to shave in the military. You get a waiver. I had a shaving waiver. Hell, for sometimes if you were black, they would just give them bitches to you. But no, actually, my hair curls up a lot on my face, so even to this day, I still get ingrown hairs, and I can't even grow a full beard, so I cut my hair even now on my face. But I still get ingrown hairs all the time because the hair just curls back into the skin, and hair is very strong. Yes, it's small in time, but hair is very fucking strong, and it just pierces your skin and it gets and it's an infection. I forget the actual medical term for it, but it creates an infection. So, anyways, you got to shave and stuff, regardless whether you have a face a shaving waiver or not. You have to shave for the mask fit test because you need to put the mask on you and let it be closely fitted and stuff to make sure there's no leaks in it, so air, oxygen, and stuff doesn't get inside. The only time air can get inside is through your filtration, through your filter. That's it. In the ventilation system, the little thing that sticks off to the side. That's it. And if that shit's not locked on tight, your fucking mask doesn't work. So you got to go through this thing to make sure it's tight and make sure that you can only breathe through that. So you put your hand over it and stuff and make sure you don't get no oxygen in. Those are real masks. So there's many times I've done that. Last year when they're talking about, oh, wear a mask, it'll stop a virus. I'm like, no, it's not, man. So now I'm supposed to forget 12 years of training telling me the complete opposite? Nah, guy. Along with my search and recovery training for finding bodies and stuff like that, if there's a virus outbreak, one of the scenarios is no, you don't go out there. You wait until it's clear first, then you go out there because you don't have the protective equipment to go out and go out with a virus. And gloves and masks and goggles is not gonna stop a virus. It's too small. So this is talking about double masking and stuff, but no, the mask needs to be fitted in the first place to actually fucking work. You want the least amount of seals as possible. You want the max amount of seal as possible because you shouldn't breathe through a mask unless it's through a filtration. That's it. That's all you can do. And even then, you still have to have a full body suit on to make sure nothing else. Because say you have a cut on your finger or something, then what? You got a cut on your finger? Guess what? Virus can get in that way. Yeah, we're not even sure if virus can get in through your ears. Virus can get in through your eyes. Apparently, Dr. Fauci saying that you should wear goggles. So you should wear goggles. This is what Fauci was talking about. And at the same time, he's letting you know virus can get in your eyes. So if virus can get in your eyes, what's the fucking point of a mask? But don't worry, all the shit makes sense to people apparently. And I'm fucking crazy, right? Because I'm a conspiracy theorist. Fuck y'all. You call me crazy all you want to. I'll gladly fucking at this day and age, in this point in history, calling me crazy, I take that as a fucking badge of honor. I appreciate it. Thank you for calling me crazy. Because if I am crazy and the rest of the world is sane, I don't want to be saying like y'all guy. I'm good. That's not for me. That's not for me. So I want to click on this study because okay, so this is a CDC study because fuck an article, go to the source, right? So it says maximizing fit for cloth and medical procedure masks to improve performance and reduces SARS-CoV-2. The SARS-CoV-2, the virus that creates the COVID-19 disease. Remember this novel virus? It's such a new virus. It's so new that it's the second version of the original SARS virus. But don't worry, it's new because it's the second version, even though it's a continuation. But don't worry, it's new. So here's your scientists who all got paid to do the study. I mean, my fault. They all got You know what? Fuck that. Let's see. It says view author affiliations. Follow the money. Okay, where did it take me at though? It says view author affiliations. All authors have completed and submitted the International Committee of Medical Journal Editors Forms editors form for disclosure of potential conflicts of interest. No potential conflicts of interest were disclosed. So right there, the whole study is thrown off to me. The whole study is fucked up to me because if you're gonna put a statement like this, if you're gonna put a statement like this, I don't trust that shit. Tell me, like, show me the actual evidence, show me the links, so I know that they are not compromised, that they have no conflict of interest. Because I understand scientists get paid to do these studies. They get paid at universities to do these studies. I had a friend who was telling me, this is how you get funded by doing these studies and different things like that. So you're already kind of, it's something that you're into, but at the same time, money. As long as money is on the table, it's gonna make you think differently. It's gonna make you question some of your character values. It's gonna make you question some standards. That's with all of us, everybody. So, a summary: what is already known about this topic? Universal masking is recommended to slow the spread of COVID-19. Why didn't you even say COVID-19? Because COVID-19 is a disease. So you should just only say SARS-CoV-2. SARS coronavirus 2. What is it? SARS is what? Severe acute respiratory syndrome. I remember that shit, but sometimes I forget my kids' names. What a fucking amazing parent. So it says cloth masks and medical procedures masks substantially reduce exposure from infected wearers, source control, and reduce exposure of unaffected wearers. What is added by this report? Cloth masks. This is ain't no cloth doesn't do anything, man. The way the thread is woven and cloth and stuff, they have to be they have to be fucking microscopic level small. They really have to be smaller than the virus itself, which I think the virus is, I forget what it was. I know I talked about in one of my episodes of the podcast, and I say I've referenced past episodes. Like, damn, guys, slow down talking. I reference past episodes all the time, but at the same time, fucking don't remember which episode I'm talking about. But I said that before. I did go back and actually label all the episodes, so I'm good. So you're good. So you can just kind of go through the catalog and scroll through and see which is which. Although I need to do a better job remembering exactly which one is which. So it says, what is added by this report? CDC conducted experiments to assess 2 ways of improving the fit of medical procedure mask. Fitting a cloth mask over a medical procedure mask. Wait, what? So you'll put the cloth mask on top of your blue surgical mask? You know what? I just thought of something. Pay attention to nurses and doctors and stuff you see on TV, and anytime you go in the hospital and stuff or a clinic or whatever. If you don't see them with 2 masks on, do you think you should be wearing 2 masks? Have you ever seen them with 2 masks on? That's the equivalent of saying wearing 2 condoms. Something I talked about before. It's the equivalent of saying wear 2 latex gloves on your hands. Yeah, we knew that. Not even to do that in the kitchen when we wore gloves. You can't wear 2 because wearing 2, they don't do nothing but rub against each other and one breaks. Thus defeating the whole purpose. I just thought about check out a nurse or a doctor. Do you see them with 2 fucking masks on? Right? The so-called experts we're supposed to follow. Shit. Have we seen Dr. Fauci with 2 masks on? Is Anthony Fauci, is the little guy, is he wearing 2 masks? That's substantially so much better. Well, implications for public health. These experiments, I'm glad they called it that shit. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Oh, actually, they do. They just don't give a shit. Because at the end of the day, what they're telling you to do is essentially it's not harmful, but it's not the best either for your health, right? Because you putting that stuff on your mask, you're not doing, but your germs and stuff that are going out of your fucking body when you speak are just being stuck there, and you're just inhaling it back in. So it's not necessarily harmful, but you might have a facial breakout or something like that, maybe an acne problem, maybe some other things. Also, though, it goes along with the toxins that you're ingesting into your body because those same toxins will find a way to get outside of the body because the body is going to reject it. Hey, but whatever. I don't know anything. I'm just a regular guy. I'm just a regular guy. I don't know shit. I'm not an expert. I'm just a regular guy. I'm just a regular guy reading the government documents. Pay attention to how many times I bring up government documents, the government websites. I'm reading their shit. I'm reading their shit. I'm reading their shit and saying, hey, this is different than what you said before. And in fact, this don't even sound like it makes sense. These experiments highlight the importance of a good fit to maximize mask performance. So if you need a good fit, then why don't you just have one mask on? There are multiple simple ways to achieve better fit of mask to more effectively slow the spread of COVID-19. So they got a little fucking diagrams because it makes people feel better reading this shit. It says wearing a mask that fits tightly to your face can help limit the spread of the virus that causes COVID-19. Yeah, because that's how mask works. Fucking genius, CDC. That's how it works. Notice how come they say this shit last year? Don't you think should be something that they should, I don't know, should have been talking about last year? No, because this time last year they were still telling us not to wear masks. And then they flipped the switch, or not flip the switch, they flipped the script on us and said, oh no, we do need to wear masks. So makes you wonder, right? Are they pissed off because us in Florida are saying fuck you to masks and stuff, and we're going out? Tom Brady's throwing the body trophy around like it ain't shit. No mask on, everybody's drinking, partying stuff in Ybor City and shit like that. And at some point, I gotta find my way down to the party too. At the same time, if I get a break away from these kids, I go out and party as well. Fuck, with no mask on. Gin and juice, drinking, having fun. The shit we used to do in America. Crazy concept. I know. Back in my days, I'm old enough to remember we used to fucking party in America. Fucking stupid, bro. Oh man, it says in a lab test with my fucking god, man. In a lab test with dummies. I thought these fucking people use rats or something, mice. In a lab, like I said, I kind of glance over a lot of this stuff, but I mean, a lot of shit is predictable. You kind of know where it's going. But I also try to leave some of my live reaction for the podcast, and sometimes it still like just blows my mind. I think I say this almost every episode that it blows my mind. I think I do because this shit still just blows my mind. In a lab test with dummies, exposure to potential infectious aerosols decreased by 95% when they both wore tightly fitted masks. Dummies. Does the dummy simulate how a human body will react when it comes into interaction with the SARS-CoV-2 particles? Do the dummies create a simulation of what it does inside the person's body, even though every individual body immune system is different based on how they treat themselves? Fucking dummies. I really hope they didn't use dummies. I really hope they didn't use dummies as a study. I really fucking hope they didn't use dummies as a study. Fuck my life. Did they really fucking use dummies? Okay, let's kind of dig into some of this. It says universal masking is one of the prevention strategies recommended by CDC to slow the spread of your virus that causes coronavirus disease, blah blah. As of February 1st, 2021, 14 states and the District of Columbia, that place, DC, that's not part of the United States, had universal masking mandates. Not Florida. Fuck y'all. Mask wearing has also been mandated by executive order for federal property. Fuck. Nobody cares. The effectiveness of cloth and medical procedure masks can be improved by ensuring that they are well fitted to the contours of the face to prevent leakage of air around the mask edges. Leakage of air. So you're going to prevent the leakage of air, and then guess what? That means air cannot get inside as well. And if you're breathing, that means no matter what, air is getting inside. Because you gotta be able to fucking, I don't know, consume oxygen. You know, this crazy thing that apparently human beings need to do in order to survive. I know it's a wild concept, but apparently you gotta prevent the leakage of air. So it's a two-way street, right? It's an open door because if something is coming in and something's going out as well. Maybe I'm making too much sense, and that's why this shit sounds crazy to me. The effectiveness of cloth medical procedures can be improved. Okay, blah, blah. During January 2021, CDC conducted experimental simulations using pliable, elastomeric source and receiver headphones to assess the extent to which two modifications to medical procedure masks. One, wearing a cloth mask over a medical procedure mask, double masking, and two, knotting the ear loops. A medical procedure mask where they attach to the mask edges and then tucking in and flattening the extra material close to the face. And that could improve, basically making the shit tighter. I don't know why they had to say all that just to say making the shit tighter, but whatever. So once again, they did this in January of 2021. They didn't do this in March of 2020. They didn't do this in April of 2020. They didn't do it in May, June, July, August, September, October, December of 2020. They did a study in January 2021 because they care this much about the population. Like, I gotta get my camera set up at some point. I mentioned that. I'll just maybe I'll find a good way to have a good backdrop. Maybe if I just zoom in on myself so you guys don't see the rest of my fucking house. Because I mean, right now, if you can see my facial expressions, like I'm just, oh my god, this is so nauseating. Like, what? You had all this time. We done had multiple SARS breakouts. We done had influenza breakouts, pandemics, epidemics, Ebola, MERS, like all these different things. And now you want to do a double masking study a year after. Because, this is for us, right? This is for humanity. Universal masking is highly effective means to slow the spread of SARS-CoV-2 when combined with other protective measures such as physical distancing, goddamn, avoiding crowds and poorly vented indoor spaces, and good hand hygiene. Did they really fucking use dummies is what I'm trying to figure out. Okay, so this is what it talks about the size of. Okay, so the results indicate that when fitters are secured over a medical procedure mask, excuse me, when over medical procedures mask, they can potentially increase the wearer's protection by equal to or greater than 9% for aerosols in the size range considered to be the most important for transmitting SARS-CoV-2 generally. Less than 10, I forget what 10 UPM is, but you know what? I'm trying to think. Did I have the page saved somewhere? Did I have it bookmarked or? All right, let's just see. We'll do the size of COVID, size of SARS particle. So SARS CoV-2 particle size. So you have let's go with this one. This is the first one, whatever. The website from news-medical.net. And this is recent, I believe. Should be. The size of any viral or bacterial particle can provide useful insight into how these infecting species can wreak havoc on host cells. This isn't the one I was talking about, but let's see what it says. The virus first identified in 2019, that y'all know of. In addition to information, researchers have also evaluated the size and content characteristics of the SARS-CoV-2 particles upon analysis of negative stain SARS-CoV-2 articles by electron microscopy. Researchers have determined the diameter of the virus to range between 60 nanometers to a maximum diameter of 140 nanometers. What is nanometers? I don't know if nanometers is the same as the other thing. In addition to measuring the spherical size of the virus particle, it has also been confirmed that the length of the size tumors surrounding the outermost surface of SARS-CoV-2 can vary in length from 9 to 12 nanometers. And this article is saying that it's generally less than 10 UM. I'm trying to figure out what it is. I forget what that symbol means. Says the protective capabilities offered by N95 masks are largely attributed to the mass removal of more than 95% of all particles with an average diameter of 300 nanometers or less. It has been estimated that N95 masks can filter approximately 99.8% of particles with an average diameter of 100 nanometers. In this aspect, the size of the virus particle largely determines how individuals can protect themselves and those around them by acquiring SARS-CoV-2. Okay, so here's a symbol down here. It's micrometers. So it says, for example, respiratory droplets are typically 5 to 10 micrometers in length. So this article says that the CDC study says they could potentially increase the wearer's protection by greater than or equal to 9% for aerosols in the size range considered to be mostly important for transmitting SARS-CoV-2, generally less than 10 micrometers. And for example, respiratory droplets are typically 5 to 10 micrometers. So it's saying, yeah, so anything less than 10 micrometers is supposed to work when you double mask. That makes sense. Yeah, that doesn't make sense, man. In that case, why didn't you do it before? Once again, this is all about respiratory droplets. But I'm pretty sure SARS-CoV is less than 1 micrometer. So yeah, because they're saying respiratory droplets. Notice, pay attention to the verbiage. When they're talking about the particle size, they're talking about respiratory droplets. You know, when you spit, when you sneeze, or when you're talking and you spit. That's what I was saying. Like, all you gotta do is just cover your mouth and put it to your shirt or something like that, and that's it. You know, the same shit we all been fucking doing for, I don't know, our whole lives. Because the droplets are anywhere between 5 to 10 micrometers. Why is it not telling me exactly? But then it switches back to say nanometers. It says whose diameters provide information on their sizes. The length of rod are filament-shaped viruses can measure as long as 1,000 nanometers. So here's a little thing, a little diagram. So what is it then? So is it? I just want to know what the fucking size is. So it's smaller than bacterial cell biology. A lot of your biology, your bacterium size is smaller than that. So it's so small, but you're telling me these masks is gonna help on a dummy? I just want to know exactly what the size is. So, for example, an ant has an average size of 5 millimeters, whereas a dust mite is typically 200 micrometers in size. Both are which much larger than a single SARS-CoV-2 particle. So it's incredibly fucking small, right? So micrometers and then nanometers. Nanometers is smaller. Okay. Obviously, it's the name, dumbass. Comparatively, a human hair has a thickness that is typically in a range size of 60 to 120 micrometers. Simultaneously, this diameter exceeds that of a typical SARS-CoV-2 virus particle. So the shit is so incredibly small. So incredibly small that you can't see it. So incredibly small that you can't see it, so you don't know where it's at. So you have no idea exactly how long the virus has been around, other than what they tell us that the virus has been around. Like I said, they literally can sit here and say whatever, and for the most part, majority of us don't know because we don't pay attention to science like that. It's not our jobs. It's not something that we're focused on. It's not something we're into. That's why I say you can't trust what anybody says because they just say things and it's like, all right, but at the same time, it's like, wait a minute, explain this shit. Can you tell me all of a sudden cloth material? So that means bacteria. So everything. So in that sense, we should always just wear a mask. The HIV virus is 120 nanometers. And remember, the diameter of the particle of SARS-CoV-2 is 60 to 120, 60 to 100 nanometers. So it's smaller than the HIV virus, but somehow bigger than the Zika virus and bigger than the parvoa virus, which I think also causes the common cold. I just want to, God damn it, I know had it, I have it on a study somewhere. This is COVID causes blah blah. Why the fuck can't I just find something that says the particle size? This says, so this is from biology.stackexchange.com, which I think is just a forum website. Says you can easily find a lot of pictures of the SARS-CoV-2 virus, but although it should be trivial for an electron microscope to measure the size, I am not able to find actual size information. Fuck me either. This was 11 months ago. Someone says, so it's just one answer saying that electron micrographs of negative stain, blah, blah, particles. Yes, this is something different though. It's still saying the same thing, 60, 140. Man, I have the thing up too somewhere. It might be under my bookmarks. But it's funny how you really can't really find it, right? Actually, no, I want to go back. See what this one says. This is from nature.com. So it says detection, whatever. Can you please go away? I'm not accepting your cookies. So this is a study then. The detection of air and surface contamination by SARS-CoV-2 in hospital rooms of infected patients. It's abstract. Understanding the particle size distribution in the air patterns of environmental combination SARS-CoV-2 is essential for infection prevention policies. Just tell you what the study is about. It says air sampling is performed in 3 of the 27 AIIR in the general ward and detects SARS-CoV-2 PCR positive particles of sizes less than 4 nanometers, or micrometers, excuse me, and 1 to 4 micrometers in 2 rooms. So nothing really gives you the size of the actual fucking virus, which is interesting enough to me because they're just telling you. Because it's saying it ranges in a certain range of 60 to 100 nanometers. And then all of a sudden it flips it and says, 10 micrometers. Which, why would you not keep the same measurement of size throughout your, basically throughout what, the explanation of the study? So look at the results here. It says, from the first experiment demonstrated that the unknotted medical procedure mask alone blocked 42% of the particles from a simulated cough. Standard deviation is 6.7, and the cloth mask alone blocked 44.3%. The combination of the cloth. Wait a minute. So this whole entire time, it's almost like this study was done in like because people in the medical field, more information was coming out saying, yo, these masks don't even stop particles, which something I've been talking about. Other people have been talking about this whole past year. So they're saying, oh, well, there you go. Oh, well, yeah. a mask alone doesn't stop, but if you wear two of them, then it works. It's, it doesn't matter, bro. That's not how it works, bro. Just because you add them up together, it doesn't increase the effectiveness. It's about the material itself and how it's woven and how tightly fit it is. And then at the same time, do you have any filtration as far as, I don't know, getting oxygen in and out? But this is what it tells you. The combination of the cloth covering the medical procedure mask, double mask, blocked 92.5%. And it's literally like the people just fucking added up to 42% to 44%. Right? It really fucking seems like that, man. Like they just added up. Like, yeah, it works. See, now it works. Now it works. And that was in the first experiment. The second experiment, adding a cloth mask over the source headphones medical procedure mask, are knotting and tucking the medical procedure mask reduced the cumulative exposure of the unmasked receiver by 82.2%. When the source was unmasked and the receiver was fitted with the double mask, or the knotted and tucked medical procedure mask, the receiver's cumulative exposure was reduced by 83% and 64.5% respectively. When the source and receiver were both fitted with a double mask or knotted and tucked mask, the cumulative exposure of the receiver was reduced by 96.4%. So they're saying, oh yeah, one's better than, or two's better than one. And if I got double mask on and then someone else next to me has double mask on, then we're really super secure. That's not how it works, man. That's not how it works, and they know that's not how it works. They know. Let's see. The laboratory-based experiments highlight the importance of good fit to maximize overall mask performance. Medical procedures masks are intended to provide source control, blah, blah. The reduction in simulated inhalation exposure observed for the medical procedure mask in this report was lower than reduction reported in studies of other medical procedure masks that were assessed under similar experimental conditions, likely because of substantial air leakage around the edges of the masks used here. Air leakage. You mean air getting in, air coming out. That thing that you need to fucking breathe. The wild concept that apparently we don't just want to ignore. Because that's what they're kind of saying. Like, oh, fuck, don't worry about your breathing. Because they're not saying get a mask with ventilation. They're just reducing oxygen intake for you. And just don't call it that. Let's see. The findings in this report are subject to at least 4 limitations. First, these experiments were conducted with one type of medical mask. So this is the fucking most important. The only thing that fucking matters at all this. This is the only shit that matters. It says the findings in this report are subject to at least 4 limitations. First, these experiments were conducted with one type of medical procedure mask and one type of cloth mask among the many choices that are commercially available and were intended to provide data about their relative performance in a controlled setting. So when you do experiments, you hear doctors talk about randomized control setting, because when it's random, because that's how you can see what's going on and stuff. When the control settings are random, they're at variables. When it's in a control setting, when it's just a regular control setting and you control, you basically manipulating the experiment because you're controlling the settings in which the experiment is conducted. So you're not going to get real randomized results and whatnot because it's not random. You're controlling all the variables. You're controlling the environment. And then right off the bat, it says first, these experiments were conducted with one type of medical procedure mask and one type of cloth mask. So if you don't have the type of mask that they have, you once again shit out of luck because yeah, it works. Double masking. They're saying double masking works. Okay, but we only did it on one type of medical procedure mask, which is your blue surgical mask, and we only did it with one type of cloth mask. I guarantee they ain't fucking get the mask that if you get online, Amazon or something that comes from China, I guarantee they use a fucking mask that I don't know you threw on you or your kid at a gas station, wherever the case may be, that they sell them all over the place. Because let's be honest, all the fashionable masks don't do shit at all other than look cool. If you think that shit looks cool, I don't think it looks cool, but that's it. And sometimes people just don't want to wear just a regular blue mask, so they throw on whatever. I have a Bucks mask. It's a Christmas gift. Like, fuck it. I'm going to wear it. In the limited times that I fucking actually do wear it. Which will be at a Bucks game, really. It won't be at a Bucks game next year. I know that fucking much. So it says these findings of these simulations should neither be generalized to the effectiveness of the medical procedure mask or cloth masks, nor interpreted as being representative of the effectiveness of these masks when worn in real world settings. But that's exactly what it is. You can't generalize the thing because you have specific type of masks. So this should be first. This should be first to let you know, hey, yeah, we did a study, but we only did it on these two specific masks. Further studies need to be conducted because they don't give a fuck. This is propaganda at its finest. Second, these experiments did not include any other combination of masks, such as cloth over cloth, medical procedure mask over medical procedure mask, or medical procedure mask over cloth. It only works for cloth or medical procedure mask because you're using the medical procedure mask as the filter. Which in that case, some mask already comes with filters, so you might as well use that. But you want it more securely fit. This is shit I thought about last year. Yet all of a sudden the CDC decided to do a study in January of 2021 to determine this. Come on, man. It's propaganda, man. Third, these findings might not be generalized to children because of their smaller size or to men with beards and other facial hair, which interfere with fit. Like I was just talking about. When you have to do the fit test in the military, you have to shave first. So if you have a beard, you wearing a mask, guess what? You're going to need to cut that beard off. You need to cut that facial hair off because it's in the way. Because you'll never have a secure fit, like they're saying. You won't. It's funny that they just throw this at the bottom. Because how many people are actually going to read the study? Let's be honest. Were you actually going to read the study? If I, hell, I probably just helped you out by like, shit, thank God I ain't got to read that shit. Because it's boring, man. They intentionally make this shit boring. And it's fucking annoying that they do this all the fucking time. It's such bullshit. And it says, finally, although use of double masking or knotting and tucking are two of many options that can optimize fit and enhance mask performance for source control and for wear protection, double masking might be impede. Hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. All right. Let's do this again. Finally, although use of double masking or knotting and tucking are two of many options that can optimize fit and enhance mask performance for source control and for wear protection. Double masking might impede breathing or obstruct peripheral vision for some wearers. Might impede breathing. The shit I literally was just talking about. And I have to read the fucking article to understand because I remember some things from science class and biology class and stuff like that. And I use a little thing called critical thinking. I know it's a skill that apparently doesn't exist that much anymore, but yeah, I tend to use my brain every now and then to figure shit out. Wild concept yet again. I understand. Not everybody gets it, but yeah, there's this thing called using your brain. I know. Yeah, it's not outlawed yet in America, but we're getting there. Double masking might impede breathing. No fucking shit, Sherlock. Goddamn. Or obstruct peripheral vision for some wearers. And knotting and tucking can change the shape of the mask such that it no longer covers fully both the nose and the mouth of the persons with larger faces. What the fuck is the study? This is what our taxpayers' dollars pay now. Understand this. It's all jokes and laugh stuff, but this is where our tax dollars pay. This is where our tax dollars funded. If you go check out my YouTube channel, it's up on my Odysee as well. I did a video on it the other day about how you had a Warner Brothers Media, as far as the HBO Max platform and stuff, which is also owned by AT&T. How they went back and digitally imposed masks on like Lord of the Rings characters, the hobbits and stuff, and they put it on fucking Wonder Woman and Aquaman. Yes, they digitally imposed a mask on Aquaman. Yes, Aquaman, the fictional character, the guy that can fucking breathe in the water and talk to fucking dolphins. They put a mask on him because that makes sense. Not only does the fictional character not make sense because it's not supposed to make sense, it's fucking fictional. Let's go ahead and put a mask on him because guess what? They're saying is this mask shit is fictional as well. We're just making it up. Wonder Woman, a demigod, right? Right, the daughter of Zeus, right? Fucking demigod, damn near immortal being. They put a mask on her. She can, I don't know, not get shot with a fucking bullet, super strength, and now she can fucking fly. But don't worry, she has a mask on to protect herself. Propaganda at its fucking finest. And this whole fucking study was a waste of taxpayers' dollars. Waste of fucking taxpayers' dollars. What else does it say? Controlling SARS-CoV-2 transmission is critical, not only to reduce the widespread effects of COVID-19 pandemic on human health and the economy, but also to slow viral evolution and emergence of variants that could alter transmission dynamics or affect the usefulness of diagnostics, therapeutics, and vaccines. Blah, 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 blah. It was just funny. Now, this is an article I had up here earlier that I was talking about from the Miami Herald, but it's on a theme park tourist. And it makes me, because this is what they were talking about as far as on the CDC study, talking about variants and shit like that, and the SARS-CoV-2 virus, COVID-19, whatever the fuck you want to call it. So this is saying the Miami Herald is reporting that Biden administration is considering imposing domestic travel restrictions on certain states, including on Florida, as severe high-profile COVID-19 mutations could reverse progress on the pandemic. So this is what they're worried about. These COVID-19 mutations, because the vaccine will work, except for, once the virus mutates, the vaccine doesn't work. Once the virus mutates, I guess double masking is not going to work either. Don't worry. At some point, we'll be triple masking. Man, you better hope that if we reach the level of triple masking, that shit don't even sound right. Does it sound right? I just said triple masking. Does that sound right? Does that even sound like words that should go together? They sound oxymoronic, correct? Triple masking. One mask should be enough. And one is not enough, then fuck, we need to go back to the drawing board and make sure that one works. That was what I said back last year when they was talking about the mask and stuff. Like, if they really cared about masks and masks really work, they would say, they would give us distinct guidelines specifically on what medical grade mask we all should be wearing. Because if it's not a medical grade mask tested and approved, independently tested and approved, then it's fucking useless. They're letting you know it's useless because they're saying, oh, wear two. They know it's fucking useless. If anything, they're trying to restrict your breathing even more, thus affecting what goes on in your own internal organs and your body with your immune system. Who the fuck knows what happens when you limit oxygen? All right, when your ass pass out doing something, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Oh man, this time okay. So it says there are active. Yeah, so this had a Biden administration saying that shit, but it says there are active conversations about what could help mitigate spread here, but we have to follow the data and what's going to work. The data that they make up on a constant basis. Because we did this with South Africa, we did this with Brazil, because we got clear guidance. But we're having conversations about anything that would help mitigate spread, the official said, referring to discussions about new travel restrictions that could target the spread of the UK mutation in Florida. I told you they fucking hate Florida. I told you they hate Florida. We're down to the mutation in fucking Florida. We're down to the mutated virus in Florida, and they don't like that shit. Well, damn, where the fuck this webpage go? Why my CPU just went up, even though I closed off every fucking tab? I think that's funny, man. So, kind of finish off today's episode. Just want to recap some of the stuff that happened yesterday. And I know the Senate trial is going on right now. But I'm not going to lie to you. I was watching it, and I was like, get the fuck out of here. This shit is so boring. And not boring in the sense of the verbiage and what they're saying. But why is this page being so slow right now? All right, but yeah, whatever. At the same time, it's because they were talking about the same shit over and over and over. Like, and not talking about they said same shit they said in the past. No, they literally were talking about the same shit over and over and over and over. Is he gonna play this video? He's probably trying to play this fucking video.
The sun dismantled our reviewing stand and throwing metal poles at us.
What? Oh, come on, man. Let's close out this page. Thank God. Fuck. I'm trying to listen to that shit. Playing something that I did not ask to play for. Thank you, Fox News, and all these media websites. Tons and tons of ads and videos that play automatically. I need to definitely go and fucking check my settings. I know that much. So nothing plays automatically and stuff like that. But what gets me is that they were sitting there talking about, they sat there and edited a lot of videos and stuff. It's something I was talking about on yesterday's episode. And they still continue to do the same thing yesterday, but then they did a lot more pandering as they brought up the one lady from the U.S. Virgin Islands, and she's talking about this stuff. I'm a black woman and all that. Like, man, shut the fuck up. Sit the fuck down. Nobody cares, man. Nobody cares. You're out here making up shit and saying all these different things and stuff like that. And then, like I said, yesterday's show and today's show, and then I started with Gina Carano. They're trying to attack freedom of speech. That's all it is. They're trying to attack freedom of speech as they cut and edit, splice up the videos of what Trump did not say, and they take everything out of context. And then all of a sudden they were trying to say that his followers and stuff like that were, just apparently mindless sheep, zombies and stuff, listening to anything and everything that he says, that Trump says, whatever. And then they're saying that they go out there and they have these as far as his rallies and stuff like that. And fuck, I'm losing my train of thought. God damn it. I was trying to hold on to it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was trying to hold on to it. Oh, okay, so yeah, so they was talking about all the things that he said at his rallies, and they were saying that his talks about election fraud was basically used in a way they're kind of building up the picture, the groundwork, saying that it didn't just start, a few days on January 6th at his rally. It didn't start there. It started way before, months ahead last year and stuff. As far as he saying the claims about election fraud and what they're going to do with the election, still election. So they're saying that he, in a sense, radicalized his followers and stuff like that. Once again, freedom of speech is the main thing that they're attacking here. They're mainly attacking freedom of speech. And once again, it's not about Trump, because they put him up there in front of us, but it's just basically put him on trial just to slaughter him in a sense. Well, they're not going to, but they want to slaughter him in the perception of public image. No different than Gina Carano, no different than any of us that say something that goes against the supposed official narrative. Or, these people too, that these leftists and what they're talking about, they're the minority. I don't think people understand that. Just because they might have the more, what you think, power as far as corporations, they're the minority. No one actually believes this shit. I don't care who you are around the world and what's going on. You don't actually believe any of this shit. And if you say you do, you're fucking lying to yourself. Because you don't believe this shit. Because you cannot sit here and logically think about this shit and just go along with every fucking thing that it's saying. I don't care who you are. At some point, you're going to be like, wait, this shit is fucking stupid. They replaced Aunt Jemima and put Patty Mills Company. Nobody knows who the fuck Patty Mills Company is. Is that the company fucking Aunt Jemima was working for when she fucking sold herself to her sold her image and stuff like that to allow them to put her on a fucking bottle? Like, you're talking about, oh, we ended racism, or racism. We fought racism with this. Nobody gives a fuck about that shit, bro. We was going to get the fucking black lady on the syrup bottle because we knew this shit was gonna taste good. That's it. If anything, stereotypes. Really, that's all it is. Stereotypes profiling. Because you see a black woman on a syrup bottle, stuff like that, you like, oh yeah, the food about to be good. Why? Because you see a lot of black women that are big and obese. Why? Because but what I'm talking about is Southern cooking. What it comes down to is Southern cooking, Southern culture, what you think of it as. That's it. So that's why I don't like race, because all these stereotypes, they could be flipped and used on us in an instant. In 1 minute it could be positive, next minute it could be negative. Yeah, universal law of polarity. Did it again. So proud of myself. Every episode, bringing up one of the universal laws. Hell, because shit, it's like, I can say the same ones in every episode. It doesn't matter because they're all the same. They're all underneath one. Everything is the mind. So at the same time that they're doing all this shit, talking about all these different things or whatever, you really think these people are a majority? You don't think millions of people in this country, even around the world, see something like Aunt Jemima and say that this racist they took off the bottle? You don't think the majority of people are like, wait, what? That's racist? Because everybody gonna sit there and be like, damn, bro, I love that fucking syrup. Her and Mrs. Buttersworth, the first thing you think is like, damn, bro, I love that syrup. Your first thing is like, shit, I love that syrup. Then your next thing is, I hope they don't fucking take it away. And then your third thing is, oh, okay, cool, they just replace it, whatever. And you stop it there. And then and if you go along with it, because social peer pressure. You don't want to be ostracized. You don't want to be attacked because it's mob mentality. Because the indoctrination of the youth in America through the public education system got all these fucking people thinking that, they're thinking they're doing something good, and there's nothing wrong with that. But they play on that emotion. Your propaganda machine, your globalists, your military-industrial complex, your deep state, your Marxist agenda, your communist socialist agenda that's hidden behind all this, that's being pulled by the strings of your Biden administration people, your Obamas of the world, your Bushes, your Clintons. These are people pulling the strings because they don't give a fuck because they're at the top, or they're perceived top. They're like, yeah, we don't care. I'm gonna keep getting my money as long as the rules don't apply to me. I'm good. You're Gavin Newsom's of the world. As long as the rules don't apply to him, you're good. You're Jane Cassidy, your Tampa Bay mayor. As long as the rules don't apply to her for wearing masks, even though that was back in October or wherever time frame it was. Well, she was at shit, what game was she at? She couldn't have been at a Lightning game because that wasn't during that time. I don't know what game she was at. But other people around her was wearing masks and she wasn't. So at the same time, like they don't care. Nobody actually buys this shit. I don't care who you are. You don't believe this shit. You don't buy this shit. You're thinking the same thing. But at the same time, you're just like, you don't know, like, fuck, I'm afraid to say something. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because it's not that you're afraid to say something. It's that you don't want to face the consequence that comes with speaking up. Or not even necessary consequences. You don't want to make anybody mad. You don't want to rub anybody the wrong way and stuff like that. I'm in public settings and someone says something I don't agree with. I tend to keep my mouth shut. I say I tend because I try my hardest to. But man, sometimes I just can't help it. I'm like, wait, what the fuck you just say? What are you talking about, man? Like, what are you talking about here? Don't say that shit. So yesterday during the Senate trial, and I'm sure today, they was just talking about the same shit. Talking about the election. Trump was spewing these election conspiracies to his followers and kind of basically radicalize them and feed them all these lies. And they went to go bring up all basically how the election was not rigged or stolen, that it was the freest and fairest election ever in the history of America, which obviously if they say that shit, your first thought is that's a lie, because if they say something like that, then it's the complete opposite, because it should be damn near impossible to have a complete free and fair election. Somebody's always going to try to cheat. Your goal is to minimize it. No different than like a IT security. Somebody's gonna hack into it. Something's gonna happen, but your goal is to minimize it and then at the same time capitalize on it. Not capitalize, but eliminate it as quickly as possible once you find out the threat. So they sat there and brought up the whole thing about the election, which the art of war, deception, not necessarily deception, but it just let your opponent make the mistake. Sit back, know your opponent's weaknesses. The weaknesses of the so-called left, the Democrats, the liberals, whatever you want to call them, arrogance. They think they can say whatever, they don't have to worry about it. And they don't actually think about anything coming back to haunt them. Remember, Trump said, be careful what you wish for if you want to go down the road with this impeachment trial. Be careful what you wish for. Because the continuation of this impeachment trial means now they're setting precedents. This is a precedent where you can impeach a former civil officer. So your judges, your presidents. So that means Joe Biden can be impeached. Not necessarily for anything now, but for what happened in the past. Doing those fucking shady deals with Ukraine and China while he was in office. That means Obama can be impeached. I said this yesterday on episode 85 of the podcast. All these people can be impeached. Obama, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, George Bush Jr., George Bush Sr., All these people can be impeached because they have set the precedence. Like Trump said, be careful what you wish for. Obviously, this is me speculating, but kind of makes sense, right? Nah, Damien, chill out, bro. You're making too much sense, guy. You're not supposed to do that in America. Can't make logical sense. Can't rationale. Can't use your brain. You can't critically think. You can't be an independent thinker. You can't be a free speaker, a free thinker. You can't be, a proponent of free speech. You're an American guy. You're an American, Damien Jackson. You're in America. You can't do that shit. You can't speak up. You can't say what the fuck you want to say. You can't cuss.
All right, we're 30 seconds out.
Hey,
We need someone.
get the fuck out of here, bro. Get the fuck out of here. How did I just all of a sudden start playing out of nowhere? I didn't press anything. That shit just start playing out of nowhere. What the fuck did that even come from? God damn it. Saying too much shit, bro. Saying too much shit, guy. You gotta shut the fuck up. Yeah, I think they have some update statements. Okay, here it is. So these are things from this part of Fox Live blog team on their, it looks like it's their Twitter page or something like that. Or I don't know, whatever. Statements from Mike Lee's office. Senator Mike Lee, Republican out of Utah, office released a statement about the kerfuffle that capped off the Wednesday night's proceedings, clarifying what the senator was objecting to. So I guess he objected to something. It says, tonight, the House impeachment managers made false statements mischaracterizing Senator Lee's account of a phone conversation between President Trump and Senator Tuberville. A spokesperson for Lee said in a statement, Senator Lee objected and asked that the false statements be stricken from the record. The House managers agreed to withdraw those statements. So they made false statements and they had to be withdrawn. So right there off the bat, everything else is in question. Because if you made that one false statement, what the fuck else are you lying about? The House impeachment managers will have another 8 hours to present their case on Thursday. Oh my God. These motherfuckers are going to use all of the 8 hours today. All of the 8 hours today. What does that work? So they get Wednesday and Thursday. And then Trump's team gets Friday and Saturday. Man, they're drawing this shit out, bro. There's nothing to talk about. Like I was watching the stream yesterday. I'm like, there's nothing to talk about. It was literally an echo chamber. Like I didn't understand that term for the longest. I hear echo chamber, like, okay, I get it, and I understand it, but I mean, it's almost like it's the perfect term because it's literally like they literally get up and literally say the exact same thing that the other person said, and it's like, okay, that's fine, but if that also means there's no substance. You don't have much else to say. So if you don't have much else to say, can we just wrap this bitch up in, I don't know, 8 hours? Because I feel like this trial could have literally happened in one day. In all honesty, this trial literally could have happened in one day. But they're dragging this shit out. Political theater. It's fucking boring. It's bullshit. Senator Mike Lee, Utah, asked for statements involving him during Wednesday's impeachment. Statement in question. Okay, this is what I want to read. So a statement in question involved a phone call made by President Donald Trump during the siege about increasing efforts to oppose the electoral count. Those statements are not true, and I ask you to strike them. Lee said the statement, which was recited from a media report, was ultimately withdrawn. What was the statement, though? Shit, it doesn't even say. He's talking about, okay, Castro audio of rioters chanting, hang Mike Pence. Joaquin Castro. Like Fidel Castro? No relation? I hope so. Out of Texas, too. Reminded lawmakers of the inflammatory remarks by President Donald Trump that led to threats on Vice President Mike Pence's life on January 6th. Now, Vice Pence led to the threats on Vice Pence. Mike Pence led to the threat of his life by doing the shit that he does. And I'm not even talking about what you think I'm talking about. You go ahead and check out some of Lynn Wood's videos and stuff like that. If you find him online, he's on Telegram, and I think he has a website too somewhere. But yeah. Some other things Mike Pence has done and is up to. I understand that the people that are listening to or not listening to what Trump says, they're not listening to what he said. They already fucking know some of these things. People like myself, like, they know these people have been corrupt. But see, that's where they curtail the emotions of that with Black Lives Matter and other groups like that, because they know, we all know this country is fucked up. And we know it's fucked up from the inside, but we don't know exactly where. So all these past couple of decades, we've been trying to figure out where the shit is fucked up at. And all they've been doing is trying to deviate and distract us from the real problem, race. They want you to worry about race, because if you worry about race, you're not going to pay attention to how fucked up all the people in the government are. As they become more so-called diversified, it doesn't matter. They all still the fucking same. Republicans, Democrats, they all the same. And you get a few independent people there. Shouldn't they all be independent? Why is there political parties anyway? What's the fucking point? I'm not talking about historically. I'm talking about now, current day, modern times in America. What is the point of fucking political parties? Shouldn't it just be the best candidate wins? Because that's the same psychology we take in any other aspect of life. We want the best qualified person for the job. Even though affirmative action does the complete opposite, and that's something I had to understand myself. When I was younger and hearing about it and stuff like that, like, yeah, it really should be the best person for the job. But I mean, it is what it is. And then in sports, best person wins, right? You know, any competition is the best person. Why are we concerned about political parties when it should just be whoever the best candidate is? You don't need a backing. Why do you even need money? When people run for political parties, they'd have fundraisers, they take donations and stuff. Why do you actually need money? It goes for, if Trump took money, I don't know how much he took from private donors and stuff, but it goes along with that too. Obviously, money goes for advertising, but really, outside of that, do you need it? Excuse me, outside of advertising, what do you need it for? Plane trips and stuff like that? But then again, didn't Trump say, I have my own fucking money, and use his own money? We have social media now. I mean, can I just not get, I don't have to go nowhere if I want to. If I want to campaign for my local Congress or whatever the case may be, city mayor, city council member, I have to stay at home, put out a video, splice that bitch together with my fucking iPhone, and bam, put it up on social media, and there you go, campaigning myself. Virtually free. Or outside the expenses I already made on the purchase of the phone, and I don't know, internet. It's like $5 a month for me because of the neighborhood I live in. So that's interesting, right? Why even care? It's little things like that. It says Castro noted that Trump said he would be disappointed in Pence if he did not stand up for the good of our Constitution and oppose the certification of 2020 presidential election results. Later, Trump tweeted that Pence didn't have the courage, because I've seen that it's in the Constitution, but at the same time, like, there's so many articles that try to kind of just rewrite that shit. It's like, oh, it's not really in the Constitution, but it's like, you read the Constitution, he's the president of the Senate. He's in charge of, there's a reason why they was calling him president and referring to Mike Pence. He was in charge of the Senate Electoral College vote certification. I mean, if he's the president of it, that means he has some type of power or authority. And he was like, I don't have any authority. But I mean, but your authority, they're trying to say other titles just means nothing. Oh, so all the other titles mean something in government, but don't worry, this title of this proceeding is nothing other than ceremonial. So it doesn't matter. Castro play all the chant and stuff like that, blah, blah. Man, this shit is stupid, man. It's, before I close off today's episode, let's kind of check in on these fucking idiots in Congress, see what they're up to in the Senate. Bunch of fucking idiots, man.
I switched from State Farm because of this site. They had me paying $163 a month.
This is what happens when you don't have personalized ads.
He again does not acknowledge his role in the insurrection. He does not say in that video, for example, everything I said in the months prior went too far. And he does not say the one sentence that matters. He does not say the one sentence that would stop future political violence. The election was not stolen. He still hasn't said that sentence. That is why National Guard troops in full body armor still patrol outside. Reports from the White House also confirm
Still patrol outside over, I don't
President
know,
Trump believed he was,
nothing.
quote, forced
The fucking ghost
by
town that
bipartisan
DC
fear
is.
after the insurrection to acknowledge the new administration. We know he did not stand behind his belated condemnation because those around him confirmed it. And behind closed doors, sources confirmed that President Trump still refused to directly acknowledge his election loss to Joe Biden and refused to even attend the peaceful transition of power, the first president in modern history.
He's got a look like a
President
clown.
Trump even reportedly, while watching the
I think he's a former Air Force veteran too. He's like, oh, my family came to this country and we lived down in the basement. The family had money to come to this country, but not enough money to have a place. Whatever. You know, immigration. I don't know how that goes. I don't know how that goes. I guess I kind of do. I have friends that immigrated here.
He will not stop. Now, President Trump would have his base and the world believe that his conduct was totally appropriate. It is important to impeach that falsehood, to make clear to his supporters and everyone watching that what Donald Trump did was not acceptable. In fact, quite the opposite.
Who's writing these speeches?
People in his own
Because everybody is looking down. Who's writing these speeches?
former officials, current officials, members of Congress have all unambiguously and passionately said that what Donald Trump did was, quote, disgraceful, shameful, and they've called his behavior existential. And
Once again, understanding, he said, peacefully protest and voice your opinion. That is what they're talking about. That is what they're talking about. Because when we're talking about truth and facts, that is what he said.
Spencer Cox, Charlie Baker, Mike DeWine, Larry Hogan, and Phil Scott.
People have to be held accountable, and yes, that includes the president.
It's important to remember that they were the culmination of months of President Trump repeating over and over again that the American electoral system is a fraud.
It is.
After he stoked the flames of outrage for weeks leading up to the events of yesterday, he refused to adequately prepare the U.S. Capitol for the possibility of violence and left it nearly defenseless. His remarks during and after the travesty of the attack on the Capitol were disgraceful.
President Trump's continued
His remarks during and after he said, everybody go home. Because, I denounced the violence. We denounced the violence. Everybody go home. Peaceful protest. This is not what we wanted, blah, blah. The small amount of violence that you saw. The amount of violence that apparently Business Insider said was so bad, right? They said the violence was so bad that it made, it wanted to warn parents to let their children watch the violence that happened on January 6th. There's more fucking violence in a Mortal Kombat game. Technically, there's more violence in fucking Fortnite than there is that. There's more violence in Fortnite than what happened on January 6th in the Capitol. That's some context for your ass.
Constitution of the United States. It's clear to me that President Trump has abandoned this sacred oath.
Seeing our capital, a symbol of democracy around the world, stormed by an angry mob was heartbreaking. And let me be clear, these actions were not patriotic, and these people are not patriots. The fact these flames of hate and insurrection were lit by the President of the United States will be remembered as one of the darkest.
Remember what I said, everyone business, what it comes down to is money. Money and job titles, positions. They don't want to give up their job titles. They don't want to give up their positions. They don't want to give up their money. So people will say whatever they want. What happens when you stand up for yourself and stick by your moral fortitude, your characters, your values, your integrity? You get like Gina Carano, you get fired from your job. This is why I started today's episode with Gina Carano. Because this is what happens. We see it all the time in these past couple of years. What happens when cancel culture, when you go and say your own thing. And I showed you her post. I showed
John
you.
Kelly also
Actually, fuck these people. I'm tired of this shit. Cut this shit off. But I showed you her post. And the things that she put up there. And yet and you seen the post that supposedly was transphobic, and it wasn't at all. These people don't give a fuck because these people worship money. They care about money, power, resources. They care about their social status, the esteem of themselves. And a lot of times, it's not even come down to that. Sometimes just simple, I want to protect my job because I'm worried about my family, because you're worried about your livelihood. They attack you in all facets of your life, and they're attacking us in America and around the world, because essentially America is the last one. If we fall, shit, everyone else knows, well, that's it. Time to pack this bitch up and go home and go ahead and accept these chains. I mean, mental chains. That's essentially what we're talking about here. Fuck out of here, man. And just a small part that I showed you, I only showed that part because it's literally the same thing that happened yesterday. Like, it's literally the same shit over and over and over and over and over. I was watching on C-SPAN obviously on their YouTube, but I was also watching, like I said before, on Right Side Broadcasting Network. I was watching on theirs, and I was I was watching the chat, reading the chat, and people were just like, man, they were getting aggravated. Like, bro, they're really saying the same thing over and over and over. Like, say something different, man. Say something different. Because if you're saying the same thing over and over, and you're just dragging it out, that means you actually have nothing. And if you stood firm and believed in what you were saying as honest and truthful, then guess what? What you would say is, hey, I don't need fucking all these days. We rest our case. We proved our point. All they're doing is just trying to murk up everything. But they're fucking themselves over because now they're making this about election fraud. This wasn't about election fraud. It was about your so-called insurrection that didn't happen. That's what it's about. This is about freedom of speech. That's the underlying tone of the message. That's really the main message of it. But they turned it into election fraud stuff. So that means they opened the door for Trump's attorneys to, I don't know, present some things on election fraud. I don't know if they will or not, but they essentially opened the door for that. Art of war. You let people fall on their own sword. What some Tory says, she always talks about something, pull down your own pants. These people show you, everyone shows you exactly who they are. And if you pay attention, you can know your enemy's weaknesses. People are arrogant and they have nothing but lies. So lies have no real foundation. They have no real foundation. Lies mean nothing. That's why when someone repeats the same thing over and over and over and over from the same standpoint, they're lying. They're lying. They're lying. Because you can provide evidence, but the evidence you provide is all out of context. Then it has no real worth to it. It has no real value. And you can feel it when someone is lying. They say the same shit. And I'm not in the sense of you can say the same thing over and over and be factual, but you say it in different aspects and you give obviously information, evidence, proof, but you can kind of span it across different things. I think I'm saying that right. Whatever. Fuck it. Who cares? That's these people, man. These people don't give a fuck. They're in it for themselves. And when you're in political positions like they are, it's not about you. Remember, they're supposed to be representatives. Who are they actually representing? Do they actually represent we the people, the American citizens? Because it doesn't sound like it. Because if they were, they'll just say, fuck it. Let's not do this shit again. Because if Trump is so bad, then the fact speaks for itself. No one will vote for him ever again. But they don't trust people, right? Because they think we're stupid. So they're like, oh, we don't trust the people. People are sheep. They're going to fall for Trump again. But that's not the case. They don't want us to hear any truthful things spoken in the form of a mass publication where someone with a bunch of millions of followers is able to touch a bunch of millions of people and others. They need to control the narrative. Obviously, they're going first. They're the defense. No, they're not the defense. They're really the prosecution. Why are they going first? Anyway, they're going first. And they bring up, election fraud. And there was no election fraud. There was none of this. There was none of that. And he's been setting this up and he's been saying all these things. Well, now you open up the door because at some point, his defense attorney is going to have to say something. I don't know how much depth they will go into it, but I don't doubt that they will say something about election fraud and present some evidence. Then what happens? Do we show that? Do we show all that? I'm interested to see kind of Trump's defense team where they go with all this stuff. Cause I mean, shit, they could take a lot of fucking angles. They could talk about election fraud, election integrity. They can talk about foreign interference. They can talk about their so-called insurrection where it wasn't Trump supporters or QAnons. Like I said, the whole Jonathan Sullivan thing, bring up Jaden X and stuff while using that footage. You talk about a lot of things. They can show the footage of people being let in and stuff and showing that it wasn't really an insurrection. They can talk about the lies that AOC said and other people have said. Other Congress members are talking about, oh yeah, we fear for our life, and you was nowhere fucking near anything that was going on. There's so many different views you can go with this, or perspectives, so many angles you can go with this, because it's really you're just dispelling the lies and you just giving out there the truth. This shit is insane, man. It's a fucked up world we live in, and I will continue to cover this fucked up world because, as I always say, shit is hilarious. It's funny. It's entertainment. We just sit and watch the clown show perform, and you gotta look back and laugh at it, man, or laugh at it in real time. As always, I'll be back on. Like I said, as always, like this has been a recurring thing. It's been like 2 weeks, guy. Calm the fuck down. I'll be back on tomorrow, Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check out a live stream if you choose to. I'll have the replay up on DLive, but I will also upload the video on YouTube and my Odysee channel. I believe Odysee is Damien_Jackson. I believe YouTube is Damien_Jackson as well, or Damien Jackson. If not, go to DamienJackson22.com. My website, blog site, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And I have a link up in the top right corner of the page saying social media and podcast links. So you can find me all those different places. Follow me on Twitter. If you want to hit me up, go to my Telegram channel. I don't think nobody's messaged me. I don't think so. They shouldn't have. They shouldn't have. Like, what the fuck? Who say y'all can message me? Yeah, there's nothing there. Why have the channel on mute? That's not good at all, huh? I should fix that. Oh, it's not on mute. Whatever. Okay, whatever. You can tell. No, I do. No, I don't. No, I do. I don't know. You can tell I don't know what the fuck I'm doing on Telegram yet. So I'll just keep checking it every now and then to know what's going on. But definitely on my YouTube, my Odysee channel, I don't necessarily get so deep as far as certain things, whatever. Of course, I'm always deep about certain things, but it's more or less even more funnier. I'm still mocking the same shit, but I've been keeping the videos shorter, definitely under 10 minutes, somewhere in between. Yeah, pretty much anywhere between, let's say, 4 to 10 minutes. I feel like it's averaging around 6-7 minutes lately. Tons of different videos up there. I'll be putting the podcast version of the videos up there. Yeah, and there's audio version of the podcast on the YouTube channel, but I'm gonna go ahead and stop that and just keep uploading the recorded video versions and stuff of the podcast to the YouTube channel and all those different platforms. Check it out on Spotify, Podbean, Apple. Fuck, I think it's on Amazon Alexa, iHeartRadio, some other shit. Find me anywhere. Listen to me at your leisure time, for pleasure, entertainment, or just because you don't like me and you want to talk shit about me to yourself. You can talk shit about me to me if you want to as well. I mean, that's always the case as well. And, obviously, be prepared for me to say some fucked up shit back to you as well, because I can't help it. That's how I go. That's how I am. But I'll definitely be back on tomorrow. So until next time.